I want to thank everybody for coming tonight. My name is David Gauny. I'm running for City Council. I've always wondered if it's better to go first or last, and the answer is both are equally nervous. I am a 7-year resident of Santa Clarita. I certainly haven't been here as long as a lot of people, and but I love it here. I love this city. I'm supposed to give you some background. I'm a Navy veteran. I'm supposed to say that. I feel a little weird. It was something that happened back when I was 20. I was on an aircraft carrier. I learned a lot about the world. I've learned a lot since then. I am now married with 2 daughters. My wife Tracy and my youngest daughter Catherine is here. Yes. And they've put up with a lot lately. I'm also a business owner. My wife and I have a mortgage company here in town. We've had some hard times recently. We've had good times before that. We're still staying the course and keeping our doors open, and grateful for that. As I mentioned, I love living here. Unfortunately, for the 7 years I've been here, I spent about the last 5 years advocating on behalf of the community of some developments that I'm very concerned about and where the future of our city's going. My wife and I plan to retire in our home, and we live in Valencia. It's not shouldn't be an us against them thing. I can certainly answer your question on Canyon Country and why Valencia is planned. But in my mind, the problem that we have in our city boils down to one thing, and that is process. I want to give you just a quick study on how the city works. In a city, you've got a city manager. He's paid to basically keep our city running in the black. He manages the numbers. He makes sure we have programs that keep our city going, and he's done a decent job. Our city has been mostly in the black. I do believe we have a deficit this year that's going to have to be dealt with. But on the flip side of that, there's supposed to be a city council, and that has 5 members that we elect. And the job of the city council is to direct the city manager on what the residents here want. Do we want less density? Do we want a regional hospital? Do we want less traffic? Those are the things that are communicated to a city council that then should be directed to a city manager. And my opinion in this city is, we don't have that. We have a weak city council. And so what happens, if you remember, the city manager's job is to bring in tax revenue. Human nature is he's going to do that the easiest possible way. And the easiest possible way to getting taxes is to approve new development. It brings in tax dollars, there's city permit fees, there's all those things bring in money for the city. The problem is, while it's good for the city manager, it sells out the future of the residents that are here. And that is a real concern for me. Bad process at our city is hurting our communities. Overbuilding is destroying our neighborhoods. Anybody here heard of Ben's Road? Tony Natoli? Canvas. Over in my neck of the woods, we've had the MRF that was discussed, the materials recycling facility. I spent 4 years against the G&L project. I still have deep concerns and reservations about that project. We've had the Avenues that was proposed over there, a 12-story hotel and a ton of mixed use with no real plan for how the roads were going to accommodate that. Most recently, we had the Sheraton Hotel, which was a 200-room hotel that was about 100 feet from a 100-room hotel with half the banquet facilities, half the draw to bring people here, and no explanation as to how we were going to fill that hotel. Interestingly, we all sit in impossible traffic. We all know it. We had this big issue here recently with this illegal immigration issue. I think one of the things that, and I'm going to jump just really quickly. Illegal immigration, I think all that's happened on that whole issue is we had somebody say something that we all recognize as a problem in the state, in the country, and somebody actually said something about it. And when they did, everybody went, oh my gosh, we all see the problem, we all know it, and somebody actually said it. Traffic is one of those things in our city. We all sit at red light after red light in that morning commute and wonder, how do we keep building here? And the answer is we bury the numbers to our detriment as a community. There is fuzzy math. I've spent a lot of time on a number of projects looking at how we are calculating traffic, and the numbers are skewed. We keep doing this, and nobody on the city council is crying foul. I will say none of the incumbents are crying foul. And here's the rub. In all of that effort, we have a whole bunch of density and a whole bunch of traffic, and our city council's done a terrible job of making sure we have high-paying jobs here. We have people that have to leave the valley to afford to live and work here. We drive down to Los Angeles so we can work our job, and then we come back up in the mind-numbing traffic on the 5 and the 14, and we deal with that traffic, and we come home and try to make the rest of our day. We have low-wage jobs here that people come from the Antelope Valley. They come from San Fernando Valley. They clog the roads. They come here and work. They get paid with a paycheck. They take it home and go spend their tax dollars somewhere else. This is not a plan for growth, and this is what happens when we don't have leadership on the council to direct which way our city is growing. In truth, we should have 1 1/3 jobs for every house we have here in Santa Clarita. We have 0.9, okay? So all of this that we've built is not sustainable, and that's what everybody, I think, here, the questions that I'm hearing, that's the frustration that we have. I want to bring strong leadership back to the city council that will get rid of the fuzzy math analysis and will get us back to a real strategic plan for how we're going to grow our city and protect our homes and our neighborhoods. I want to add something else. A lot of people think, well, you know, business is the thing that's ruining our community. We've got, you know, we got to get rid of, the business comes in and they're influencing everything and they're ruining our community. Not true. Business in our community is the lifeblood for a lot of the services that we rely on. You want a sheriff to come to your door when you need help? Do you want the senior center to grow and expand? Do we want the domestic violence center? The monies that fund that from our city coffers come largely from business dollars that are paid here. I figured out kind of early on that being a homeowner is a tough way to try to make change in this community. So I joined the Economic Development Corporation, which at the time was a committee. I joined it about this time last year, to understand what the needs of our businesses truly are. And some people don't support that. You can ask me in Q&A. I'll be happy to answer that. But the concerns I saw there were basically businesses feel the same way the homeowners do. There's broken process. We have a 21-point plan that was presented by our staff for economic development to our council, which was then passed. And there is nary a plan in there for small business. We are dying on the vine here in this community. 70% of our economy are small business owners, people that get up, have 10 people that have worked with them, some of them 20, 30 years, that right now are closing doors, and their employees that have been there for 20 and 30 years are having to go home, foreclose their property, and 10 new foreclosures are landing in our city. That is not a plan, and we are 3 years into a down economy, and not one of the incumbents has really stepped up with a plan of how we're going to solve that problem. So we've got our homeowners hurting, we've got our local business owners hurting, and there's not a plan here. What we do have is we've got big box stores, and we got big companies coming here that are bringing low-wage jobs that are benefiting from our tax incentive programs that we're all paying. I want that to change. I want strong leadership that will protect our small business and stop forgetting them.